Advanced English Arabic Learning Session 104. Nylon cloth with a cotton feel. A cafe with a cosmopolitan feel. He felt his way back to the stairs. She was new in the job, still feeling her way. The economic crisis began to make itself felt. Infighting between departments grew worse. The caretaker had taken French leave. French doors. They were fighting over who pays the bill. "We never gave up," she said while fighting tears after her final game. The police are fighting a losing battle against a rising tide of crime. She fought her assailant off. United certainly made a fight of it in the second half. The fight or flight response can happen in the face of an imminent physical danger. The body initiates the fight or flight response at risk situation. These findings clinched the matter. A perfect trout stream. Trout and salmon are plentiful in the river. He blew out a stream of smoke. There is a steady stream of visitors. She sat with tears streaming down her face. He was watching the taxis streaming past. Her black cloak streamed behind her. A world in which the demand for quality does not run against the stream. We all have to go along with the stream, not fight against one another. He was stitched up by outsiders and ousted as chairman. The doctor stitched up his wound. They stitched him up for murder, frame. "I think I've been stitched up." The new hair allowed her to blend in when out and about in public. "I have it straight from the horse's mouth that he plans to retire next month." Straight from the horse's mouth information is credible but not always reliable. "I'm going to go to ask her and hear it straight from the horse's mouth." "I had lunch with Andy and heard it straight from the horse's mouth." "I used to be a shill in a Reno gambling club." "Your husband in the crowd could shill for you." The carnival shill pretended to win so that he could lure children into wasting their money. Acting as a shill for the company, Laura put fake reviews online as a way to get others to buy the products. He gave the boys a shilling apiece. He's not the full shilling, but a damn good worker. A long-haired mutt of doubtful pedigree. They are looking for animals with pedigrees. With a pedigree equal to many of the gentry. The scheme has a long pedigree. My host showed me his family pedigree. Pedigree cats. But here's the clincher. I don't want to talk about that, it's all water under the bridge now. Last year's dispute is water under the bridge now. Sure, we have had our disagreements in the past, but that's water under the bridge now. I have learned from them and that's water under the bridge now. Wear loose-fitting, comfortable clothing when traveling. Tight-fitting pants. 3 pairs of pants. I feel fit as a flea this morning. Yes, I did have surgery a few months ago, but I'm as fit as a flea now. I just saw Eric recently, and he's as fit as a flea. I got in touch with my doctor today because I'm feeling as fit as a flea. The lingering sickness in his body fled, gone for good. Throwing good money after bad. I like oranges. They perform fit-outs to accommodate new tenants. The cabin had been fitted out to a high standard. Vessels which flew the Spanish flag. Back then, food tasters dropped like flies. The party was great, the only fly in the ointment was that my grumpy uncle was there. The only fly in the ointment was him. Rachel seems to be the one fly in the ointment of Caroline's smooth life. You catch more flies with honey than with vinegar. Something stood sentinel within her and forbade her every joy. He had daily meetings he forbade her from attending. Modesty forbade me from mentioning that my novel had been published. Soldiers stood sentinel with their muskets. A wide course had been roped off and sentineled with police. There's a good weather forecast for tomorrow. The weather forecast says there will be rain. The weather forecast is good for tomorrow. Spain presented a forecast of the anarchy of Poland. Their apprehensions were well-founded. My suspicions proved to be well-founded. He had to show that he had a well-founded fear of persecution. The government has issued a pessimistic economic forecast. I foresee you winning your deal. The future system I foresee will not be different in substance. He did not foresee the complications which were likely to arise. It is difficult to foresee the consequences that may arise from this action. No one foresaw the scale of the disaster. Months ago, I foresaw you coming here today. He foresaw national disaster and ruin. No one foresaw the danger. No one foresaw what he was planning. Few analysts foresaw that oil prices would rise so steeply. A rich emollient shampoo. The President's emollient approach to differences. Always moisturize exposed skin with an effective emollient. A low-cut, figure-hugging dress. She now wears figure-hugging clothes and tight sportswear. Tired of his humiliation of me, I decided to give him a taste of his own medicine. Don't be rude to others. You won't like it when you get a taste of your own medicine. You deserve to get a taste of your own medicine. The plants are all as dead as a doornail. The minister clinched the issue by accepting the genuine demand of the students. You both are on same team, clinch the issue between both of you before finals. After they clinched the deal, they went out to celebrate. Caretaker usually is described as someone employed to look after goods, property, persons, or animals. Caregiver refers to a family member, friend, or a professional who provides care and support for a child or a dependent adult. Caretaker who takes care of a very young, elderly, or ill person. He works as a college caretaker. The club's caretaker manager. 2 lions escaped from their cage and killed their caretaker. He does not let himself get sidetracked by fads and trends. The effort at reform has been sidetracked for years. The train is sidetracked onto a line leading to a terminal. She combed her hair into a high, curly pompadour. The matching pompadours of father and son. When they sent him to get his hair pompadoured like Elvis Presley. Hair plugs refers to hair transplants. Nalta jute means juice mallow. Dollars to donuts, it rains tomorrow. Dollars to donuts that Kevin will be late tonight, he's never on time. Dollars to donuts that the economy is going to be hit adversely due to fall in prices. 11 benevolent elephants is an example of a tongue twister. I scream, you scream, we all scream, for ice cream is a tongue twister. A mood of inexpressible longing. The news filled him with inexpressible delight. He felt a sudden inexpressible loneliness. You don't need a green thumb to grow them. My sister has a green thumb, but I kill most plants that I buy. More goals would have been the icing on the cake. The concert itself was great, and getting to meet the band afterward was, the icing on the cake. But having her best friend as her boss was just the icing on the cake. Their semi-annual meetings. He was suspicious of her motives. He is a high flyer in all areas of his life. High flyers in the industry typically earn 30% more than their colleagues. Add a capful of fabric softener. Take 1 capful every 4 hours. Some people take 3 capfuls and are fine. She dipped up a bucket full of water from that well. Anders caught a bucket full of salmon. We're getting a raw deal with the new tax law. He felt he had gotten a raw deal but didn't complain. They feel that Quebec is getting a raw deal. The apparent fake turned out to be the real McCoy. The master of ceremonies will announce the cake cutting. Robert Townsend is the master of ceremonies for the event. It's an American flying jacket, the real McCoy. The caviar was the real McCoy too, not the stuff we buy in the supermarket. Excitement at the stadium had reached at fever pitch. They are willing to put real money into research. Do it real quick, please. Go alone, you will have a blast. This date is burned into my mind. The scene was burned into her memory. She burned the information into her head. They do not care a hoot whether we believe them or not. He fanboyed out meeting his idol on the red carpet. She doesn't give a hoot what people think of her. Owls hooted, the new moon rose. She began to hoot with laughter. The end. Coming next. Session 105.